Welcome to the ITIL Tool Day 2023. My name is Björn Hinrichs, and I am your moderator for this PeopleCert special event. This event is designed to enable you to get the best out of your IT and make it even more efficient and powerful with ATV-certified software. Today, we will explore how this new and innovative Accredited Tool Vendors program works. Coming directly from PeopleCert as the custodian of the ITIL framework, the program was launched in spring this year and has significant importance for the entire service management market. This ITIL Tool Day provides a comprehensive platform where you get in-depth insight into the global software seal of approval for ITIL 4 alignment. Therefore, we will explore the program from different perspectives. You will hear from user organizations who have successfully implemented ATV-certified software in their workflows. You will hear from software providers who chose to pursue this prestigious certification. And moreover, you will get exclusive insights directly from PeopleCert's leaders about what they inspired to design such an accreditation and how it works. You're an IT organization planning to select a new software solution that is proven to be aligned with the best practices in the ITIL framework. You're a consultant, want to boost your consultancy when supporting your customers and selecting a future-proof software solution that enables global best practices. You're a tool vendor and want to add this seal as a trusted mark of the highest quality and alignment with ITIL best practices. Here's what you need to know. So let's have a look on the agenda. Before we go into the content, a few general remarks. This event will be broadcast worldwide and will be held twice today to cover all time zones. Therefore, the agenda shown here only contains information on the duration of the individual program items and not exact times. The overall time planned for this event is 3.5 hours. For the ease of communication, we all agreed to simply use our first names. Final note, please feel free to use the question panel in your GoToWebinar control panel. We will collect all questions and answer them in a FAQ document, which we will make available on the ATV web page following the two events. So let's go to the agenda. First, we will start with an exclusive insight directly from the founder and CEO of PeopleCert, Byron Nicolaides. He will answer the question why the ATV program protects ITIL tool buyers' investments. Next, we will then conduct an interview with two further top leaders from PeopleCert. Together with Dimitris Nicolaides, Chief Growth Officer, and Markus Bauser, Vice President Products, we will take a closer look at the ATV program and why it significantly increases the success of an ITIL tool selection. After a short break of 15 minutes, we will change the perspective and explore the ATV program from the user organization's point of view. We will hear the exclusive user experience reports from CIOs, their expectations, and the benefits they see in the ATV seal of approval. Listen to Thomas Kraus and Attila Küçük, two CIOs of internationally renowned companies from the healthcare and construction sectors. After another break of 30 minutes, we once again change the perspective to gain exciting insights from the tool vendors industry. We will have 3 testimonials from ITIL tool vendors who have tested their software against the 650 plus criteria of the ATV seal. So stay tuned to hear from Silke Tyson from Deacon, Akshay Anand from Atlassian, and John Stevens Hall from BMC. 3 out of more than 25 tool vendors that already participate in the ATV program. Finally, during the closing session, we will have a fantastic raffle where PeopleCert will provide 9 lucky winners with a booster to their ITIL knowledge. We will draw the winners from the list of all registered participants during the event and announce them live at the end of this webinar session. In each of the 2 sessions, we will have 2 first prizes, ITIL 4 Foundation e-learning voucher, including the e-learning, the examination, and the ebook. We will have 3 second prizes, ITIL 4 Foundation learning voucher, including the examination, ebook, and official training material, and 4 third prizes, ITIL 4 official printed book, including shipping. So don't leave early if you want to have a chance to be amongst the winners. Now, after this introduction and overview, I am pleased to introduce to you the founder and CEO of PeopleCert, the person who acquired the global best practices ITIL, Prince2, and many more in 2021 with a giant investment and committed to continue to make them an invaluable source of knowledge and experience for the future, and to consistently developing them further in the digital age. Byron, thank you very much for joining us, and welcome.
Thank you, Bern. Hello, everyone. I would like to extend a warm welcome to our attendants, the CEOs, the CIOs, the CTOs, the CDOs, the IT project leads, the IT procurement specialists, the IT consultants, the IT tool decision makers, everyone. We are very happy to see and have you with us today. As Björn mentioned earlier, PeopleCert acquired Axelos in 2021, but we were together in establishing this market much before Axelos. In fact, the end of this year is the 13th year, 13 years, where PeopleCert is involved with the ITIL community. And especially after the acquisition, our motto is very clear and consistent. We are here to work with the community, for the community. We have a very long-term view. PeopleCert is not a private equity-owned organization. So the owners do not want to make some money and sell it in 2 or 3 and 5 years. My commitment is to be in this market for this generation and next generation and hopefully 3rd generation. And therefore, we are a long-term player. And as a long-term player, we're investing. Our interest is in the preservation and further development on ITIL and its value for the IT community and the IT industry. And we have a very strong interest in the ITIL community. We want to further develop ITIL. And of course, we're taking the needs of the community more into account. And as a result of this, we want to strengthen the brand and the usefulness and the necessity of ITIL brand for the entire IT industry. To this end, we are investing significantly more than before. It's not an exaggeration to say that our investment in the portfolio today is more than 10 times if you compare with the previous years. To give you some examples, we have the ITIL practices, something that you wanted very much. They're updated or they're renewed. And today we have 15 ITIL practices, either alone or in bundles. Like you can have them as certifications as well. And this clears the path to the ITIL master. Today we have over 400 ITIL masters. And we hope this number soon to come to 1,000. And on top of this, the rest 19 practices are being updated and soon will be within the PeopleCert Plus which is going to replace my actuals. We also have the official training material that was developed by PeopleCert with an involvement of many experts and top of the class, best in class, both e-learning and printed. And also, we have the translations of books and the learning material. And last but not least, on this area, we have the new PeopleCert e-learning, brand new, which is available on ITIL Foundation for now, and more will continue on the rest. We also have renewed the other line of the product, the Prince 2.7. We acquired DevOps Institute, and there are significant news are coming on DevOps, on Scrum. So you can see and feel of PeopleCert as being your partner or long-term partner, your one-stop shop for all your organizational efficiency requirements. And for any news, please stay in touch with your ATO, your accredited training organization. And now let's talk about the Accredited Tool Vendor program. Just a small parenthesis to say that soon also the ITIL consultant partner is coming, but today we're here to talk about the Accredited Tool Vendor program, the ATV. This will be soon available, and it's a program for all ITIL accredited, for ITIL organizations, that they know where they're going to find the right ITIL know-how. So our key message today is, if you are looking for service management software, then look for the ATV seal of approval, because only then you can be sure that this software has really been tested for ITIL compatibility. The official seal of approval. And I'm sure all of you are quite used to this, because when you have your car and you bring your car, which is a complicated car, to the dealer, you go to the official dealer who has the seal of approval. Most importantly, if you are an airplane owner, commercial organization, you always go to Boeing or to Airbus. Don't go to an unknown third party. If you are looking for a doctor for your health, you go to the doctor who has the official certification. And that's exactly what's happening with the tool vendor. The program is very successful so far. We have more than 20 accredited tool vendors, and the number we expect to grow significantly next year. And there are many reasons. I mean, I don't need to tell you every single reason why to go for the accredited tool vendor. But as a quick summary, I would say the following. First reason, it's official. It's reliable. It's going to be there, and it's going to be updated. So it's without any worries. You have the official tool vendor, and you know it's the right thing to do. Second reason is the quality. It's the highest standard on the ITSM tools market. No exceptions, no compromises. You know that you are buying the best quality. Third reason is compliance. Each tool is officially tested by the rights owner for ITIL compliance according to 700 criteria, and accredited only if it passes the criteria. So if there are questions from internal compliance department, you know that this is fully compliant. Fourth reason is transparency. It's transparent so that it makes your job easier. It's transparency across the market of ITIL tool providers by providing a central platform so that you can compare the tools that are available, and select the one that's most suitable to your needs. Fifth reason is the know-how. Not only the tool is tested and accredited, but the ATV program also ensures that employees of an ATV have proven ITIL specific know-how and are constantly renewing it. So for your organizations, it's a sort of free consultancy. You have people, they have the know-how, and they can provide to you good consultancy on how to use the ITIL, the framework, and the tool. Sixth reason, and we are very proud of this because it is one of our core values of PeopleCert, innovation. The tool developed is at the highest level through knowledge exchange between the tool vendors and PeopleCert. Our team has put significant amount of time, effort, money, so that the most innovative ideas and practices are there, and will continue to do. The seventh reason is community. All of us is a community, and we are participating in the ITIL community through direct exchange between the ITIL Tool vendors and the custodian of ITIL ourselves, PeopleCert. You are part of the community, we are part of the community, and we're working together, as I mentioned at the beginning, with the community, for the community. And last but not least, it's the legal reason, because working with an ATV minimizes legal risks, because ITIL is IP protected, and while we're protecting our IP, we make sure that the IP is always used the right way, and also we can confirm and guarantee that if you are using an accredited tool vendor, the IP of ITIL, the IP of PeopleCert is used properly, and there are not going to be any negative side effects. I can probably count more numbers and more reasons, but I don't want to take more of your time. I would like to thank all of you again for being with us today. I hope you enjoy the program, and I leave you to the hands of our experts. Thank you very much, and stay tuned.
Iron, thank you very much for this inspiring insights and your thoughts directly from you about the ATV program and what you plan for the future of best practices and PeopleCert. It's especially for myself as well, as I'm in that industry for more than 25 years, and it's my career maker, and it's close to my heart to think about ITIL and to work with this, and to know that this is in trusted hands and people who really care and not just make it a business. This is good to hear. Thank you very much. And
thank you, Björn. Stay tuned. There are many more things coming. Stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Yes, we have a full program, so I'm looking forward to the next items on the agenda. And yes, this is an inspiring start. Thank you very much. And yes, so we will go to the next item on our agenda, and that brings us together with two other top leaders from PeopleCert. We will have Dimitris Nikolaidis and Markus Bause. Welcome, and thank you both for joining us.
Hello, Björn.
Hi, Björn. Hi, Markus.
Hi, both. Dimitris, Markus, nice to have you here online. We will talk about the ATV program and why and how this significantly will increase the success of an ITIL tool selection. So you both, I think, are the perfect persons to discuss this. Let's start with a short introduction. Dimitris, your role at PeopleCert is the role of a Chief Growth Officer at PeopleCert. What can we expect from this?
Hi, Bjorn, thank you for having me. Importantly, the role involves growing the organization, but importantly, as Byron said, us having in mind that we work with the community for the community is about growth of the community as well. So while the focus of the role is about product strategy, product marketing, as well as the global business development all around the world, primarily is about how we can grow the ecosystem where all the stakeholders can have a successful future. So this is what the role is all about.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. So growth of community and growth of every stakeholder involved. That sounds good. Marcus, welcome. You're the Vice President Products. That sounds at least as important as Growth Officer. How would you describe your role at PeopleCert?
Hello, Björn. Yeah, thank you that be here with you today. Yes, as Vice President for Product or Product Management, I'm responsible for the development and the success of our products. And ITIL is one of our major products, beside Prince2, for example, or DevOps. And yeah, this includes defining the product strategy together with the community, gathering and prioritizing the requirements of the future developments. So when today we're talking about the tool vendor program, this was one major requirement to also influence the quality of ITIL implementations. Collaboration with the community, because what we heard, it's best practice, and it's only best practice when we get it out of the community, and ensuring that ITIL meets the customer needs at the end of the day. So this is my job.
Great. So you're looking back on a long career close to the community, being part of the community as consultant and trainer and manager in several companies. So I think you're best to bring this forward in that community of PeopleCert and with the community around the world. Thank you very much. So let us talk about the ATV program. And my first question will go to you, Dimitris. What exactly is this ATV program?
The ATV program stands for Accredited Tool Vendor Program. In essence, it's a program that has two main target audiences. One is the enterprises and the organizations or the governments around the world that are looking for an ITSM solution, an ITSM tool to manage their needs. And the question is whether this tool is aligned with ITIL best practice. ITIL has the heritage of the past 30 years and is widely recognized that it's the best practice when it comes to manage ITSM. So knowing that the solution that is being selected is aligned with ITIL, not from a third party, but from the official provider, makes all the difference in the world. So the one target audience is the organizations that are looking to implement an ITSM solution. And importantly, the other target audience is the solution providers themselves. So the tool vendors that are actually develop those tools. And importantly, as these tools continue to be developed, clearly they remain aligned with the best practice and the guidance of ITIL. Importantly, as Byron mentioned earlier, we have updated the ITIL practices throughout this year. So there are 15 practices that have already been updated, not only the courses and the qualifications that they lead to, but importantly, the practice guides, the actual implementation guide on what's the incident management workflow, what's the problem management workflow, and how this should be implemented in an organization. So the ATV program is a holistic framework that ensures that this ecosystem and this balance between tool vendors as well as organizations that implement the tool operates properly with an official seal of approval.
Thank you. Yes, so ITIL is developing, as I said, so to make sure that this brand, as a trusted brand in the world, is probably used from tool vendors, not only from the past, but still is kept up to date. Very, very important seal here. So, Marcus, what was the idea behind that? So why did you decide to create this accreditation? If we look back to the history of ITIL, one success factor was definitely that there were tools available in the market to support organizations. So why did you create this accreditation for the tool market?
Yes, we know that the tool is one of the essential pillars to have a successful adoption of ITIL in the real world. And at the end of the day, this is our major goal, that ITIL is really producing value in the end user organizations who are using it. And the business, the end user organizations, trusts on the brand of ITIL. So we have decided to say, okay, when it's so important that you have, of course, you have certified people with the right skills. You have perhaps guiding experts, but the tool, and this is following one of the guiding principles, optimate and automate, is so important for the implementation. Then we have to influence this also, and want to make sure that the end user organizations have a quality seal where they can rely on to say, okay, when I'm taking this tool, then there is the basic fundamentals of ITIL is implemented in the right way. It fits to what I've learned in trainings or what I've read in books. It's a consistent approach, and so you have the best fundament to get real valuable spending adoptions in the real world.
Yeah, thank you. So not just make it a marketing slogan to be ITIL compliant, or buy this tool and you will have ITIL implemented by installing the software, would really make this a valid message.
Perhaps when I can add this, it will never be that you implement a software and then you are finished. It's always the combination of these different pillars of people, adoption, and ITIL is a best practice. It's not a standard, so you cannot install it like a software, like Microsoft Word or something like this. Of course, you have to adopt this, and but on the other hand, there are major criteria what these tools have to deliver, and this is what we are checking with the accreditation.
Yeah, thank you. By the way, a recent poll conducted by one of the tool vendors demonstrated that 86% of all respondents really believe that ITIL certification is an important factor when considering an ITSM tool. So the market is looking for that, because people and the organizations want to assure that their investment, and normally this is significant investment when they buy an IT service management tool, not only by the cost of the tool itself, but especially the configuration and the implementation and the training of the people to use the new tool, and the changing of the procedures is a significant investment for the organizations, and so they expect to have business value out of this. So and certification to be ITIL aligned is important. So yeah, thank you very much. Dimitris, what would you say, what is the key difference between the ATV program and the ATV seal and other software certification that were and maybe will be available in the future in the market for such tools?
First of all, we're coming to address the need that you just mentioned, Bjorn, that there is indeed a very big part of the end users and organizations out there strongly believe that ITIL certification is a very important factor when deciding which ITSM tool to go with. Importantly, this is not new. The ITIL framework has been around for almost 30 years. It's a global standard. It's been widely adopted pretty much all around the world. So what we are talking here has a significant global impact. I would like to think that the solution that we are coming forward is the first time that somebody is taking a holistic view on how the ecosystem is intended to operate with accredited tool vendors, accredited consulting organizations, and accredited training providers, that all of them provide services to organizations that are seeking to adopt ITIL as a framework. The main difference this time around is that there is the official badge. So it's the only ITIL official accredited tool vendor program that is out there. Anything else can be white labeled ITSM. Clearly, it should not be infringing ITIL IP while assessing tools on other practices. But when it comes to the ITIL standard, the ITIL way of doing things, the ITIL practices, the way ITIL defines them and has been defining them for a few years, it's only seal of approval out there. So this is one key difference. And importantly, we have added, as Marcus already touched on, the people element. So it's just getting a tool that has aligned workflows is not going to make an organization successful, because people will not know what to do with it. Importantly, you need people that need to know how to implement it properly, and people that know how they intend to this system to collaborate within the organization. So we will there's some requirements when it comes to people and people skills that intend to safeguard that once the tool is implemented, it's going to work as it should and will provide the right value as the ITIL framework intends.
Okay, thank you. Interesting. So that means that you not only assess and accredit the tool, so it's not only a tool assessment, but it's truly a vendor assessment with regards to the people working for them. And so it's not just a tool seal, but a vendor seal. Thank
Indeed.
you.
And we would like to think that this is an investment in quality. It's not an unnecessary hurdle. I think it's a very reasonable requirement, and both the enterprises, but importantly the tool vendors themselves, will receive very good value by ensuring that parts of their teams are familiar with the ITIL framework at an appropriate level, at a slightly more in-depth level than a normal practitioner would be. And this will generate value not only for the enterprise clients that implementations take place, but also for the tool vendors that have a roadmap and they enhance their solutions in line with the global best practice.
Thank you. Great. Marcus, so if this is the objective, to have a true seal for the tool vendor, not just for the tool, but the whole organization behind that, how will you approach to assess whether a tool vendor can become accredited?
Before I answer this question, let me allow to add two sentences to the motivation why it is not only a software assessment. I think the world of adopting ITIL have changed in the last, let me say, 5, 6, 7 years. I've done a lot of consulting in my past, and when you go 10 years ago before, then you had this typical project. Okay, I'm deciding I want to rework my ITIL process. I'm hiring a consulting company. We are working on a process handbook, and after 8, 9 months, this process handbook is created. And then I'm searching for a tool which fulfills or fits best to the design process. And meanwhile, the tool vendors are much more earlier in the game of the project, because the projects must deliver value much faster, and requirements are changing while they are implemented. And we are talking about these VUCA worlds, and so it's very, very important when you have this melange of tool vendor, customer organization, consulting company, and all these people who are working in, that they have a common language and a common understanding what is necessary that ITIL can be successful and produce value. And this is the reason why we said, okay, a software assessment is important, of course, but not enough. We want to see that an accredited tool vendor and the people who are working with the tool, are implementing the tool, are selling this tool, have a common understanding of what ITIL is and what's needed, that it can be in combination with all other success factors. Now I have it. with other success factors are able or can deliver this. So we have two pillars. This is now your question. We have two pillars. The one is they have to pass a software assessment. This is based on the practices we have and a questionnaire. So, and there are rules behind. They have to show how do they fulfill or support with their tool the basic requirements out of the practices. And like Dimitri said, they are already completely reworked. So there's really modern requirements, more than 650, 700 requirements overall. So very detailed, but it's very important that it's always the software criteria shows how the tool vendor have solved this. So it could be that different tool vendors have chosen other ways of solving this, but at the end of the day, they are providing a solution which solves the requirements. And then we have defined a number of certifications which the tool vendor must provide. Depends from the size of the tool vendor, that you have qualified people that with basic ITIL knowledge, ITIL foundation and practice managers, but we also have special qualifications like how to implement and for the salespeople, which provides a basic understanding of the framework.
Okay, so you defined criteria to the people, not just in terms of become a managing professional or even ITIL master, but to have dedicated training programs for the different target groups.
Yes, for different roles, huh? Because you have salespeople, you have people who are implementing or doing the customizing of the tools, and you have people perhaps in the background who are creating the workflows in the tool. So it's very targeting.
Mm-hmm. Great, yeah. So it's a little bit like the 4 dimensions to address the workflows and to check whether they support that and have the right technology. That's the core of the ATV of the tool, and then address the people and organization to have the right people with the right knowledge and culture in place to enable value creation when implementing and using that. Yeah, that's really a difference compared to past certifications, which were mainly addressing the tool themselves. Say, can we find ITIL inside the tool, regardless of the people that do the coding and selling. Yeah, thank you. So let's go back to Dimitris. How would you describe the benefits of this program for the corporate customers, so those who at the end look for a new solution and select one, and why should they care about this seal? And not just buy the cheapest one, by the way.
Well, indeed, ITIL is all about value and it's all about quality, so it's not about a race to the bottom. Importantly, as we said earlier, Bjorn, this is a vendor certification. It's not just the tool, it's the organization as a whole. So by the benefits for the corporate customer is that they know that the partner they're choosing not only has a tool that is aligned with ITIL best practice, but also has a capable team that can facilitate the implementation, and again, in line with ITIL practice and in line with the best way of doing things in this context. Importantly, I would call out 3 benefits. One is about informed decision. Clearly, there has been, as Marcus mentioned, a very rigorous assessment on 650 or so criteria, covering up to 20 practices at the moment, with the plan to see how this expands further. So looking for that seal of approval, it's like somebody else have done a very big part of the assessment work and ensures that, yes, this works as it intended. And this has not only boosting confidence, but also saving time and effort on gathering information or putting together requirements that are not necessarily needed. So I would say these 2 are the ones, plus of course minimizing any commercial risks that come to compliance of IP rights. clearly the tools must be aligned to the extent they are tapping on ITIL guidance and ITIL IP. They have to be accredited.
Yeah, so less risk, save time and effort, and make better decisions, and with a differentiated accreditation. So how exactly would you say, Marcus, can the customers use that ATV accreditation to their advantage when starting up a project for selecting a new solution?
First, it's one point which sounds so easy and often is so complicated is with these certification, and because it's a tool vendor certification, not only tool certification, you provide a common language between the tool vendor and the customer organization, and perhaps other parties who are involved in this process, like consulting companies. I've traveled last week to Japan and to China. I have meetings with big end user organizations like Panasonic, Toshiba, Fujitsu. And yes, you need in all meetings, you need translators. But when you are talking about the topic, then we have common language. It's ITIL. It's clear. It's defined. And so when you now bring in a tool vendor who is accredited, at the first point, it's clear what is an incident, what is a problem, what is a change, how this should be worked together, how these workflows should look like, what they have to deliver. I don't have to define this with every tool vendor again. So this common language sounds so easy, but it's such a big advantage, I think, which comes with that. So, of course, the program also makes it much more easier to create a shortlist, for example. So normally you define as end user organization, you define your requirements, what is the scope, what you want to cover with the tool. You have to define the technical requirements. Does it fit in all the platforms you already have in place, in your technology strategy and application and partner strategy and so on. Do you want to have cloud or on-premise? But when you have done these requirements, and it's very important that you are doing these requirements very, very well, then to creating this shortlist is normally a big effort. You start making research, looking on different sources, have to see what tool vendors are out there. Normally you're getting always the same big ones, but there are also a lot of others perhaps who are fitting better to me. And we provide a very comprehensive list of tool vendors where you can see what are they delivering, what is the scope, what they are offering, what are the technical backgrounds. And so to creating a short list of tool vendors, which brings value to talk to, is very easy. So this is a very, I think, a very good point. We have direct contact points or contact details you can address. You are sure that they are supporting really what you are looking for with based on ITIL. So I think this is the major points which helps in the tool vendor selection process.
Thank you. Yeah, so I understand that this dimension is partners and not just vendors in ITIL, and entering in such a journey. It's always named a journey in the best practice, which really means it's not just a one-off event to buy and implement some piece of software, but it's a journey you're entering and you're conducting. So you need a true partner. So I understand, Dimitris, that there are already 20 practices covered, and there are plans to amend this in the future. So when doing the selection process as part of the search for a new solution, the customers can see what practices the vendors are accredited for?
Yes, absolutely. And importantly, as I mentioned, we are here to work with the community for the community, and this taps both on enterprise and government organizations that are seeking for ITIL solutions. So clearly we are working with them to see how we should evolve the program, and this goes not only on what assessment should be in place, but also how the practices and the guidance should be evolved. And we are very encouraged to see that at the end of this journey, generally what happens is that enterprise clients, they add to their requirements while they are procuring for an ITSM tool, I'm looking for an ITIL accredited tool vendor. In essence, this is the shortcut, right? So now when it comes to the tool vendors themselves, also we're having the equivalent discussion, how this program can add more value. Clearly, there are some large organizations that have been developing mature solutions for many years. Equally, we have some new players in the market. We are keen to start to work with all of them. And the program, I would like to think, it's quite balanced, that provides enough value to everybody involved and enough transparency to the ecosystem. But we're very committed to this, and we will continue to take feedback and improve as we go along.
Mm-hmm. Great. So this even enables new market entries for maybe till now not that well-known companies, but by becoming an accredited tool vendor, have a good entry point into that. And to prove that even if they're new to the market, they provide really valuable solutions. Thank you.
Absolutely. Importantly on this point, I mean, we've just launched this program. It's been only a bit of less than 6 months that it has gone live. We already have over 20, I would like to think, accredited tool vendors that are already on board, and many more are in the discussions at the moment to adopt the program. And there's a very good balance between very global organizations, many global leaders that are already accredited, and many organizations of slightly smaller size, but they're also very keen with the program. So we have had tremendous adoption so far. We're very encouraged with this. Clearly, it shows that the program adds value significantly, not only for tool vendors to stand out and say, yes, I've been assessed by a third party, by an impartial third party, but also for enterprises to know that what they're getting is truly good under the hood.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so this already answers the question. So what's the progress? You as you said, you just started in spring this year, and already there is a significant number of vendors that entered that challenge of becoming accredited tool vendor. And so finally, what are your plans for the future and how will this ATV program even shape the future of ITIL and ITIL adoption? Marcus, may you?
Yeah, so first, you will see enlargement in the program in the future to other frameworks, for example, project management Prince 2 or DevOps. PeopleCert is not standing only for ITIL. We have a very comprehensive portfolio, the most comprehensive IP for in the world. And when you take a look at the enterprise overall, ITIL alone is not enough. ITIL is a very good answer to a lot of questions, but not to all questions. And when you see the frameworks which are in use in the framework in the enterprises, they are more and more interconnected. For example, changes in ITIL producing projects to facilitate these changes. DevOps and ITIL must be much better interconnected in the implementation. So this is the future also, not only of the ATV program, of all of our products, that you will see much better interconnection of these frameworks in the future and better guidelines for the organizations to use this. Second, for us, it's very important to have these connections to the tool vendors, because for us, it's a partner program. It's not only a quality seal what you can buy. It's a really partner program. So for us to getting the input of the tool vendors, how the framework must be developed, or which steps you need in the future to facilitate the needs, to serve the needs and demands. It's also a very important point. It was always the one of the success factors of ITIL, that you had these ecosystem of end user organizations, governments, tool vendors, consulting companies, training organizations, which all working together on ITIL. ITIL was standing in the middle of that. So very important for us to have these as partners, also to influence the future, because we see technology influence everything. You only have to talk about AI or something like this. This is the second point. And what we already said, for me, there are in ITIL two major models which are so important. These are the guiding principles: working holistic, customer focus, has optimized and automate. So to give our end user organizations who are using ITIL all what they need to follow these guiding principles, because they are so essential for the success. And what you said around the dimensions. So we need skilled people. This we are supporting with our ATO program, the training organization program. We need expert guidance. In the future, you will see a reworked version of the accredited consulting partner program, which is already there, but we are working on also to rework this so that this is much better fitting the demands of the market. And the ATV program for ITIL and other areas, and also other practices, so that we bring together this holistic approach into the market, that the end user organizations get everything what they need to get ITIL adoptions in their organizations, which produces the best of value what they can get out of it.
Yes.
If I can add to Marcus' point, I think that it links very well with what our CEO mentioned earlier, that we're making a significant investment on this, 10 times bigger than it was done in previous years, for each year that is. And importantly, while all the components are in place, because ITIL has been globally recognized as the de facto standard when it comes to what we are talking about. And it has the recognition, it has the heritage, it's very well proven, it's the most proven, I would like to think, framework out there. What was missing is a coordinated approach of all these components. So as Marcus said, for the framework to be successful and maximize its impact, you need the skilled people, you need the right processes in the form of consulting guidance, and you need the tool that keeps all these things together. So enterprises, it's all about how do they make sure that they have people with the right skill set, how they know that these professionals remain active in their professional domain, that they recertify, that they keep their certifications current. The same is for our consulting partners, and the same is for the tool vendors. So all this ecosystem is going to be more successful for everybody if we operate in a coordinated way. And this is the role from PeopleCert going forward: develop the guidance and the framework in line with market needs, and at the same time make sure that this ecosystem comes together and that there is a balanced approach on how the solutions are implemented.
Thank you very much. Yeah, very exclusive and very interesting insights into why and how you invented and designed this ATV program. So I understand that you really follow your own guiding principles and your own ideas and the 4 dimensions of people, process, or value streams, people and the technology, including the partners to implement and to run the whole system, and to bring those ecosystems together to create one community and to keep up to date with the market needs. Thank you very much both for being here and contributing to this event for the ATV program. Yes, so now to all of you out there, so far about the perspective of the global best practice provider and custodian PeopleCert. We will have now a break. But don't miss in the next session when we will listen to the CIOs and their thoughts, so the customers that you try to address with the program, or you obviously address, and the CIOs, they will share with us their thoughts about this program and how they already used it in real life scenarios. So stay tuned. We will be back in 20 minutes. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Dimitris. Welcome back to the ITIL Tool Day 2023 provided by PeopleCert. If you just tuned in, my name is Björn Hinrichs and I'm your moderator today for this event. I hope you had a wonderful short break and are now ready for the testimonials from two user organizations. I would like to welcome here in our event Attila Küçük, CIO at Leonard Weiss. Leonard Weiss is a leading European construction company. Around 7,000 employees achieve a turnover of over 2 billion euros through road, track, and network construction and innovative commercial real estate. Welcome, Attila.
Hi, Björn. It's good to be here.
Thank you. Our second CIO guest, Thomas Kraus, unfortunately had to cancel his participation in this morning's session at short notice. He will be represented by Michael Hein, a senior principal consultant and involved in the service management efforts at AOK. AOK is Germany's largest statutory health insurance provider and looks after more than 27 million insured persons with around 60,000 employees. Welcome, Michael.
Hello, Björn. Hello, Attila. Great to join this event.
Hey, thanks for jumping in here to represent AOK CIO Thomas Kraus. So we want to have a direct insight and some direct unfiltered comments and ideas and thoughts about this ATV program from user organizations. And we already heard what PeopleCert's ideas and inspirations are and what their plans are for the future with regards to the ATV program and the ITIL and other global best practices they provide to the community. And so this session especially is it goes to the users of ITIL, to the user organizations, and this means that we want to hear what you think about this, because you don't have to become accredited, and it's not addressing you as becoming accredited, but you are addressed as being one major target in terms of value that should be created with this seal of quality standard. So I'd like to start with the question, first of all, with the question to you to give our participants a little bit of background, who you are, what are your actual projects and thoughts, and maybe your position. So I'd like to ask you, Attila, may you introduce yourself and your organization a little bit to our listeners?
Of course. Yeah, my name is Attila Küçük. I'm now CIO from Leonard Weiss about 11 years. And as you said, we are a construction company now 124 years old. So in 1.5 years, we will celebrate our 125th year of being on the market. And we are a growing construction company. When I started 11 years ago, it was just about 3,500 employees, and now we are heading the 7,500. But just hiring people, and as many as we find, there is enough business in the market to do. And Björn, that you said just one sentence. You said we are need to be accredited, but that's not true. Somehow our users and the management is giving us the sign if we are doing a good job or not.
That's true. Yeah, the challenges in times of growth are big, to find the right people and to make valuable investments as the IT, as the enabler of growth of organizations very often. So make the right decisions. And we already heard during the morning the goal is to reduce risks of your investments and to enable informed decisions. So yes, you are one of the customer of that seal. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Michael. I'd like to ask you to introduce yourself to the community listening to us today.
Yes, sure. Yeah, my name is Michael Hein. I'm head of consulting, working with Surfview now for 15 years. So I'm responsible together with my team to ensure that we as Surfview provide and deliver high-class consulting for customers, supporting them in order to improve their environment, their organization, their structures, their team. And we apply the so-called best practices. So typically frameworks like and methods like ITIL, project management, ITIL, etc., and Agile in order to improve, standardize, and to improve the IT organizations and the business as well.
Yeah, so, and by doing so, you have a good insight in what organizations typically care about and what difficulties they face when trying to use and implement best practices in their IT organizations and combining. We heard from Markus Bause in the first session that in real life you never find just one framework like our IT goes like ITIL, but you always combine different best practices with different regulatory requirements in your specific industry, and you're in strong need for technology to support all this in an organization with thousands of people, whether this is health industry or construction industry or even financial and other areas. So to start with the first question with you, Attila, what do you think, what difficulties do you usually see and have when selecting software solutions, especially for service management, for an implementation?
Sure. You know, on the one hand, there are a large number of providers on the market, and on the one hand, this is good. So we have the choice. On the other hand, it makes the selection process more time-consuming. Mm-hmm. And let's say it's time-consuming to create an evaluation catalog, and it's time-consuming to check the provider's tools against it. And only then I can start to ask about my specific additional needs. So I think as all our companies, we are not using IT service management, just doing the documented ITIL processes. So we have some other needs, especially in my case. I have today a tool in place which is discontinued, and we build there. So we trust our tool today with the inventory management. So because the correct inventory management, we use these figures for our service price calculation. And this means that the users in my company receive their invoice based on these figures coming out of the IT service management tool. And I can tell you that, unfortunately, users read their invoice and they like to complain. So the right figures are essential. And on the other hand, the nice thing about IT service management is that there is a standard here. ITIL has been around for over 25 years. And it has been documented for so long and has been continuously improved, so that I personally accept it as real best practice. So this is not a theoretical construct. So people are working in it, and I'm working in it for 20 years. So I trust the best practice there. And you know, just a side information, I have been CIO at Leonard Weiss for 11 years. And since then, it has been obligatory for every IT employee to receive ITIL training. So not all of them like it. So if somebody is hired as a project manager in SAP case, they ask me why I should. But what they learn there is a common language, so that all the different departments in the IT And they are really different. They are different people with different backgrounds that they can't talk each other and understand what they're talking about. And on the other hand, this means that my employees expect that the modern IT service management tool have also received this training, so to speak.
Yeah, thank you. So already several points, but that there are some challenges. You invest in people, you invest in software solutions, and to make sure that they can be used by the users, and you invested in the training. So to make sure that this investment in people is really creating value, you need the tools that support that. Thank you. Michael, what's your perspective on that? What do you experience as, what are usually the difficulties, the challenges when customers, and I know you consulted a lot of customers where in the stage of selecting software solutions. What are your experiences to that?
Right. Yeah, very good topic. Yeah, so first of all, it's important to plan and conduct the tool selection in a very structured manner. So this is necessary for all activities, including requirement collection, the RFP proof of concept, including tool presentation, and finally also the comparison and the management decision in terms of the tool. Now, what are the kind of challenges I have experienced in this process? Well, one challenge is about the sufficient time, to have enough time and expertise in service management, since all requirements, they have to be identified, they have to be structured, prioritized, containing all aspects like utility, warranty, usability, etc. And this needs appropriate time and skills to be taken into consideration, not only for collecting and prioritizing the requirements, but also to achieve a common understanding about the objectives, a common understanding and also commitment in terms of the overall goals to be achieved within the team. So it's crucial that the team does not get lost in technical details while discussing the tool. It's often worthwhile to reflect on the question, what is really the concrete value out of it and for whom? Because in the previous session, Dimitris already mentioned, we are always talking about, as part of ITIL 4, about value, benefits, value creation, value co-creation. So what is the concrete value out of it when we talk about the tool and the tool selection? So customers should always be aware that tool selection involves much more than just considering the software as a product, because it encompasses at the end a service package, including the tool, the vendor, and the entire range of services provided, like the transition, the maintenance, software updates, etc., etc. So in addition to the software, the vendor needs to have the necessary ITIL skills and experiences in place, not only to implement the software, but also to adapt the software to the customer needs in order to maximize the benefits for the organization. That's what also Attila explained. And yeah, another challenge is about the required transparency, because in order to analyze and compare the tools, you need to have reliable and neutral information. And this information always has to be reflected in a clear, transparent, and based on clear decision criteria. And all those decision criteria also need to remain reliable, even in hindsight. And yeah, last not least, it's all about people, because finally, actively involving the stakeholders in the tool selection process is crucial, because otherwise we face the risk that the tool evaluation does not only cause delays, but may also lead to risk of or to a lack of commitment within the organization.
Yeah.
Michael, just what you said points one thing out, that making this kind of project in the IT department is much more a challenge than making a big project in our customer areas, where probably we change processes for 1,000 people and implementing a new tool. But if the IT people come to change their own lives and processes, or they are really challenging and their expectations are so high, and they are living in the service management processes, so they have some ideas and they want to have the dream tool doing everything for them. And this is really challenging and interesting experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. So at the end, it's a change of behavior and a change of mindset, because we want to do the next step. We want to improve. We want to standardize, etc. And so, and the core, it's crucial to involve the people and to explain the why, the what, the how, etc., etc. And at the end, it's the people, it's the organization, it's the people to run services, value streams, processes, etc. So that's the core element, right? Fully agreed.
This is quite interesting, and what you said, Attila, and in combination, thank you both very much, because very often in the past, we faced in trainings and in consultancy, we faced the challenge that too many IT people think IT is for its own sake. Up to the message, IT could be so much fun if there were no customers. But in fact, IT, and I think this is today in the digital age, even more valid than ever before. IT is the engine, IT is the enabler of the whole organization. No building will be built without IT. No road will be planned or built. No track, no network will be built without the IT supporting and enabling all the efforts around that. And what service management and ITIL provides is an operating model for the IT as an organization, as an enabler. And when understanding this, then the service management solution as a tool solution is the business process engine for the IT organization. So this is something that really is at the core. And interesting enough, it's easier to implement a new software for 1,000 business users than implementing a new service management tool for 100 IT people. So this is fascinating. From your perspective, Attila, why is this really valuable, this ATV accreditation? So does the world need another seal on the tools? You already said the challenge is knowledge, or collecting all the requirements, prioritizing. But how will this accreditation add value to the entire market or to you as a customer? And what would you say are the most important benefits of that?
Well, as I said, my employees expect an IT service management tool to speak ITIL, to live ITIL, to breathe ITIL. And a tool that has the ATV accreditation has undergone a quality check by independent experts. So this gives me a great confidence in the beginning in the tool. And allow me a comparison with buying a used car. So in Germany, every car has to undergo a so-called main inspection every 2 years. And the owner must take his car to an independent inspector. Yeah. And this inspector puts the car through its paces according to a fixed checklist. So this is always the same, undependent on which inspector I go. And if the car passes this inspection, it receives a sticker, a certificate, or a seal. Yeah. Looks a little different than yours, but it's really valuable. Yeah? And if I want to buy a used car, I naturally, and all of you, ask when the last inspection was carried out. And of course, I realize that this is not a guarantee of faultlessness. Yeah, the car still can break down, but I can trust that the transparent criteria have been checked by an independent engineer. And that's what I expect from my IT service management software. I want to be able to rely on the fact that the tool complies with ITIL best practice. So this is the one perspective. I have another perspective on this. And in my example with the car, I have no further relationship with the manufacturer of the car. No, and also not with the reseller of the car, so because it's mine. When I buy a software for my company, I naturally want to enter into a relationship with the manufacturer. For a tool to be able to map the ITIL processes in a practical way, the product managers and programmers need to understand ITIL, in my belief. And to be honest, it's not enough to be presented with a PowerPoint about ITIL in 1 hour, and nor it's not enough to attend an ITIL foundation course. It's probably enough for my people or for most of them, but I guess not for the ones working on a company producing IT service management tool. And I believe that the developers should be well trained in ITIL and ideally have gained practical experience themselves. And by the way, this also applies to the sales and consulting staff. At the beginning, I said I have the choice of tools is a good thing. Have a big choice of tools is a good thing. And I have the luxury, it's in my personal IT department, that I have an experienced professional buyer sitting in the IT. So he's not sitting outside the IT organization. He is my employee, sitting just 3 tables across the office here. And the reason is that buying software is a really complicated issue, not only because of the licenses, also about what is promised and what I'm getting for the money. And so, but my professional buyer can guide me to a structured and objective comparison of manufacturers and tools. So, but I don't think that all departments have the luxury of having the buyer in the IT setting. So they have challenges with this. And also I have the people here sitting, they will be grateful if there was a shortcut in their job. That means if we had structured information about the manufacturers and the tools from our objective source, we could be more than happy to use it. But in the end, I expect to save time when selecting and implementing IT service management tool.
Yeah. So spend more time on the people side and enable that cultural and organizational change, and not to take too long even to work on the tool or selecting a tool to check whether it's truly ITIL compliant or not. Definitely. Yeah. Thank you very much. Michael, amendment to that. What's your perspective?
Yeah, right. So when customers are looking for a new tool, they, yes, as Attila explained, they will find a large number of tools on the market, since there are several hundred software products in the ITSM sector worldwide. And of course, all of them, every vendor can claim to deliver high-class software on the market. That's their message. They want to sell their products for sure. However, end customers require accurate information to establish a solid foundation for focusing on potential and also relevant vendors and tools. Well, now what is the benefit in terms of ATV? Looking at the ATV website, this website provides well-founded information, so end customers can get a very clear transparency about accredited vendors, the software, and also the number of certified practices and so on. And the customers benefit from actual information, since tool vendors need to demonstrate and prove that they pass the quality criteria of the ATV assessment. And of course, reliable information is the basis for proper tool decisions. So choosing software based on trustworthy information provides more confidence for the customers in tool investments. Respectively, it reduces the risk of wrong decisions. So in other words, it minimizes commercial risks for the organization. And this kind of risk mitigation is not only limited to the software, as the ATV accreditation encompasses both. It's about the ITIL 4 compliance in terms of the software, and also the assurance that the employees of the vendors are trained and certified in ITIL as well. So overall, yeah, the customers can save time, effort, and also waste by just focusing on those vendors and products that meet the industry standard. That means, as the fundamental ITIL 4 compliance has already been assessed by ATV, this doesn't need to be re-evaluated by end customers as well. So consequently, end customers can really focus their time and resources on those requirements, the individual needs and priorities that are specific to the organization.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah, this is.
Michael, unfortunately, we have all these specific needs. Although we are talking about we will use standard processes, yeah. Of course, but there are some in every company you have some special needs.
Yeah,
and so that's like you pointed out, we need to concentrate on them.
Right.
Yeah. It sounds a little bit always like this challenge to have individually streams out of the box with minimized customizing configuration effort. But this is true to have confidence to it. This is I think this is something that you invest in the people, you invest in software. This is enabling the whole company, and it's not the only solution you have to select. In service management tool, there are many tools you have to implement and to assure that this investment, especially as you described, Attila, that you really heavily rely on the information stored and then handled with and out of this solution to conduct your own IT business in terms of service management, then you want to make sure that this is a valuable investment and future-proof in terms of at least based on best practice that is globally respected. And we all know every player in that community, in that ecosystem, has its own interest, which is absolutely fair and fine. And tool vendors want to sell their tools at as many customers as possible. It's like the example with the car vendor is very good, because the car vendor wants to sell his cars and not the one from the competitor. They will never tell you that the competitor has a as good solution or maybe even better for a specific requirement. They will always sell their own solution. And to have this baseline of accredited tool vendor certainly saves a lot of time and money and reduces risks. So looking at taking into account your perspective that this is of real value to you as customers selecting solutions, what is the message you would send to those tool vendors who are still in doubt about participation in the ATV program? Because I know that there are several tool vendors still thinking and evaluating. The number is growing, but on the other side, to be honest, it is an investment for the tool vendors as well. And they think about what will be the return on investment for me as a tool vendor. What would you answer those tool vendors?
How I'm supposed to trust the software in the long term if it doesn't think it has to pay enough attention to standards in an area where they exist? honestly, I have no desire to do that. As an IT team, we are fighting on so many fronts. We need software to basically to every process along the value chain. And unfortunately, there are no standards for many other processes, and therefore there is no accreditation and therefore no shortcuts. So, but so it is in the IT service management area. So really, I expect it. For me, this seal is a ticket to get into the game at all. And this is my point of view, but I also see a huge opportunity for the manufacturers and vendors here. Just because ITIL exists, the tools are not all the same. Of course, there are still endless possibilities for differentiation. And you know what happened? In preparation for today's meeting, I had a dream. May I tell you about it?
Go ahead.
And the service processes in my dreams, okay, it's not just a dream, not a reality. The service processes in my IT are hopeless. Nobody wants to use the existing tool. And instead, they write sticky notes for incidents, and there are hundreds and thousands of the sticky notes in the office. Can you imagine what I mean? Yeah, they're carrying notes to the other department. So one day, my manager says to me, Attila, here's some budget left. Go and buy a new tool. In my dream, it was just keeping with the season today. I am happy as a child. Santa Claus was here and gave me a present. So I start looking for a new ITSM tool, and my team is excited. They are happy. And we have invited a few manufacturers to introduce themselves to us. So in our rooms here. Now, you should know that we at Leonard Weiss place great value on people. So in our mission statement, hanging all on the walls here, there are many sentences, but among other things, we write there that we offer our business partners trusting and a fair cooperation. So to be able to do this, yeah, it's not enough to write it on the wall, on the mission statement. And that's the reason why we always want to get know the people behind the solution first. So I'm interested in their motivation for their solution, but I'm also interested in their reasons for working this company. I want to understand the company's philosophy, and I want to get to know the underlying philosophy of the tool. So in the second act, the manufacturer demonstrates. So in my dream, that's what happens first. And in the second act, the manufacturer demonstrates to me without being asked and without any test cases or something from my side, how every important ITIL process works in their tool. So he quickly convinces me that it works in a practical way. And then we get to where the music plays. So to be able to convince me without asking him what my needs in the standard processes are, of course, the tool needs to know what the ITIL processes should be and also how to explain it. Yeah. So where plays the music? The music plays what there are especially good at this tool of the vendor, of the manufacturer. It is exceptionally user-friendly. It's very robust of errors in the process flow, or it's highly variable in customizing. I don't know, but I want to get earlier to the point to talk about this and not about what is standard. So in my dream, the manufacturer come and I need to just enjoy it, And in Act 3, the supplier surprises me with very, very practical extension and additions. At this point, at the latest, I am amazed and I would like to buy immediately. So as I said in the beginning, we are just in the process selecting a new tool. So I had this dream, but you know how the dream ends. Of course, my buyer will shake me out of my dream. I said, no, Attila, we are not buying just immediately. But to summarize, I would like to say the following. It's not about talking less to each other because there is a seal on the tool. It's more about saving time on the standards and talking more about how we could both be happy in a future partnership together.
Great. Thank you so much for letting us being part of your dreams. Very, very personal. Great. Thank you very much. This is what really not just a planned presentation and that. So really have some real life insights. And I understand the key message is that you as a CIO and the long years you already are in that role, you are always looking for partnership and the ticket to, let's say, just the ticket to enter the start of the game and to be an option at all is to conform to some standards and the basics in order to really do the valuable discussions and investment in where the music plays, as you said, and so all the tool vendors still in doubt for that program, be aware, CIOs will not give you any ticket to join the game and to where the music plays, and I guess you're not alone on that. Because this will save time and effort and everything, will protect your investment, as we said before. So no longer doubt, just do it. Michael, would you agree to that?
Yeah, absolutely. So a very good insight and a very good picture also what you explained, Attila, and especially this topic in terms of the partnership, because partnership needs to consider different ideas and also perspectives. So when we think about what kind of arguments do we need to consider in terms of the tool vendor, at the end, the tool vendor in terms of a partnership should always consider the perspective of the end customer. And from the end customer perspective, tool evaluation is often conducted based on an RFP, so based on a request for proposal. So beyond all the tool-specific details, functional, non-functional requirements, etc., companies aim to ensure that market quality standards are met, and often internal policies mandate that meeting these standards is a prerequisite for inclusion in the tool analysis. Now, what does it mean for the tool vendors? Well, in other words, by not participating in the ATV program, tool vendors face the risk, the tangible risk at the end, of being excluded from RFPs and consequently being unable to submit their offers. And in addition to the RFP, the ATV website is invaluable and it provides essential information of accredited tools and vendors. And this overview serves a very good starting point for companies to compile a list of proven software products when looking for a new software solution. And yeah, many companies rely on this source of information when searching for a new tool, and based on that initiate contact with those vendors, presenting a valuable opportunity for the tool vendors themselves to showcase their experience and also the USPs in conversations with customers. Now, overall, as we know, IT service management encompasses a very broad range of topics, and the question for tool vendors is, now, what is most important that is particularly crucial for end customers within the tool? And well, in ATV, the tool is reviewed based on proven quality criteria. And based on those ATV feedbacks, the vendor can allocate resources and also time and efforts in a much more efficient manner to align the software to the tool requirements on the market and the customer needs. And additionally, ATV ensures that, as you've explained before, tool vendors employees are trained in ITIL as well, and so that the people, the staff, have the right skills and competencies, because it's the people who develop, who deploy, release, and also who deliver all the services around the software. And finally, we didn't yet mention it, but this also needs to be considered. Finally, ITIL is a protected brand, so only accredited tool vendors are allowed to advertise with ITIL compliant software products. So consequently, the ATV accreditation reduces risks for tool vendors in terms of intellectual property, and thus supports customer confidence in security and data protection as well.
If there's time, just one more point. Michael just talked about the training, and I said that the people or the employees are in the mid of the thinking of the management in our company. So what I understand and expect is, if a tool has the accreditation, the ATV seal, that the people working in this company know how ITIL is working, and they are well trained. And what I say is, my employees have the right to work with well-trained consultants. So just to give an insight, do you know who our employees prefer to talk and work with in a selection implementation project? It's always people who understand them and can help them during the conversation. So not just taking the request and going back in the office and thinking about an answer and coming back. So all the conversation in itself, it's valuable for them. And then they hate to work with people who they first have to teach what it is all about. That's happening so often inside the company, of course, because we are the IT people know how processes are working and explaining them to the customers inside the company. But if we work with outside people, this emotion is getting very, very, very fast in, if they need to first teach the people who should support them. And believe me, our employees have a nose for spotting whether someone really has knowledge and experience or just faking it. So that means that manufacturers' investment in ITIL training is money well spent, because your customers will thank you with gratefulness and a long-term cooperation. And as a KPI from point of a manufacturer of an ITSM tool, when you do very well, if the ITSM consultants start hating you because they have no more work because your people doing the consultants task for them.
Yeah, definitely. I would support. I totally support this. That people really don't like if they have to explain their jobs to the consultants or tool vendors in projects before they can do the work itself. And so I understand the key message is that yeah, you want to cut the corner of checking for basics that have been around for decades in terms of ITIL basics and being compatible to the global best practice standards or de facto standards. You want to assure your investment in tools in future-proof and truly compatible, and by the same time, you want to enable your own people to work with vendors, not just with good tools, but with vendors who by themselves committed to this global best practice and the future of ITIL, and invest themselves in the people so that your employees, those who at the end will deliver services and will live all the value streams and practices, understand with a common language those who sell the appropriate software solutions to enable that. Yeah, don't doubt any longer tool vendors. And yeah, this brings us to the end of this session. Thank you very much, both for your participation in this event and the insights into your thoughts and efforts in service management. So once again, this goes out to all of you there around the world. We will now have a 30 minutes break. So some time left for have a short walk around or have a small snack. But don't miss the next session, because then we will once again change the perspective to the third stakeholder group out there and the tool vendors themselves and their thoughts about the ATV program and investment into that. So once again, thank you both for joining, and have a nice rest of the day.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Wonderful.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Welcome back on stage of the ITIL Tool Day 2023 by PeopleCert. Welcome from around the world. My name is Björn Hindres, and if you just joined, I'm your moderator for today. We are now starting our third and final round of this session, and in this round we let the tool vendors have their say. Our guests for this round are Silke Thijssen, member of the executive board at Decon Software and Service AG, Akshay Anand, principal solutions engineer at Atlassian, and John Stevens Hall, principal product manager at BMC Software, and additionally ITIL contributing author. It's a pleasure to welcome all three of you here today. So, welcome Akshay. Still on mute. Welcome Silke.
Hi Björn.
Hi. And waiting for John. Still to come. Akshay, you can hear me?
I can
Yes.
hear you. Yes. Thank you for that fabulous intro, Björn. For those of you who've been following ITIL for many years, I was one of the lead architects for ITIL 4. I was also the ITIL 4 ambassador, working for Axelos until 2021. So John and I had worked quite closely together in a previous role.
Okay, thank you very much. So you're responsible for some of the challenges I had to face in the past for achieving all those.
There's a different person to go for complaints. If you have compliments, yeah, I'm the right person.
Great. No complaint. So far, I managed to pass them all. So no complaints at all. Thank you. Oh, okay, we lost the video from Silke. We will say.
Is it back?
Yes, now you're back.
Perfect.
Perfect, Silke. Yes, welcome from Decon Software and Services. While we are still waiting for John, maybe you may introduce yourself.
Yes. My name is Silke Thijssen. I'm a member of the board at Decon Software and Service AG. We're on the market with our IT service management software for quite a while. We started in 2006, and actually my colleagues helped translating the first English ITIL books into German. So Decon has a very long history regarding ITIL too, and that's why I'm thankful to be here today and be able to stand up for ITIL.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Yeah, I know. I remember from my personal history that translating, especially in the German market, is something very delicate. I've been involved in translations for version 2, 3, and even for the latest translation of ITIL 4 modules, and been heavily involved in the translation of version 3 publications and even exams and everything around them. And it's always this balance between what we've already heard today, to preserve the common language and to keep enough of those core terminology, which is incident and change and problem, and not to translate too much, because then it becomes no longer this common language, especially in international businesses. And on the other side, not to create just a formal translation, which in fact isn't translated because everything was left in English. So this is always this balance of both. Very exciting, and in the German market, we really appreciate that at least the common explanations, the main explanations are available in our own language. I think many other countries and cultures are pretty much the same. And now, John Stevens Hall joined us from BMC Software. Welcome, John. Nice to have you here. Oh, that was a short visit.
Maybe not.
Yes.
Well, to answer on that, yes, it's very delicate to do the translation because now we do have to speak the common language of ITIL with our customers, the one really working with ITIL. But instead of the English market, we then have to translate the ITIL language into German language so the end users of our customers actually understand what's going on. Because if you call it an incident, then the woman sitting in the bureau of the mayor, she won't know what it is. So we have to decide at what point do we then still have to translate into German. And I think that's a very interesting subject, actually.
It is. It is.
While we're waiting for John to come back online, I can share with you. I definitely sympathize with all the challenges, but you should be in one of the core ITIL development workshops and see the amount of detail or the amount of effort it takes to even decide on what to call something in English, because we have to keep in mind that this will be translated, and so we would run rigorous language translation checks to make sure that it was the right word. So there's a very interesting thing that a lot of people don't know. And I know this is not what we gathered here to talk about, so bear with me for two minutes. In ITIL 4, we have the concept of practices. Originally, practices was called capability. And then we were told by the translation team that capability doesn't translate as capability. In some cases, it translates to effectively capacity in other languages, which is not what we wanted to talk about. So we spent a couple of weeks trying to find a better word so that it can be translated easier.
Yeah, that's. Oh, no. Okay, I just was informed by our technical colleague who manages the technology in the background that Stephen is facing. John, I'm sorry, John is facing some issues dialing in, and so that's what we experienced.
I'm back. Sorry, yeah, I've had to anyway, I'm here.
Perfect, John. Welcome. Nice to have you here.
Hi. Thank you.
We bridged the time just with some small talk about ITIL translation and the challenges of defining the right terminology. As we heard before from PeopleCert and from the end users, from the CIOs, that the common language is one of still the biggest advantages and benefits from adopting and adapting ITIL to the organizations, and that this is not just a challenge in translating, but even, as Akshay said a minute before, that this is even a challenge when defining or developing new versions of the best practices, because the English term, the original term, already impacts or indicates in what direction it will be translated, and it has to be a term that can be translated in a proper way anyway. So we just bridged the time. I hope technology works fine now. Yes, I introduced yourself already as Principal Product Manager at BMC and as an ITIL 4 contributing author. So I'd like to ask you to add some further details about yourself to introduce.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I've been around service management now since 1997. So what's that, 26 years, and was really involved with ITIL right from early days of version 2. So been in BMC terms, I've been a customer, I've been a partner, and I've been an employee now of the company for some 15 years, working in product for a little over 10. So I would describe myself more as a service management person than a specific product person, and that's why it was really good to get the invitation to come and help with the contribution to version 4. A big part of my focus area has actually been around how we adapt IT service management to the world of DevOps and agile development, and in particular how service management has a potentially a very pivotal role in the success of DevOps in enterprises, where otherwise it tends to get embroiled in that broad complexity. So it's been a number of quite interesting years, to be honest. It's a good place to be. Both I enjoy making products, but I enjoy being part of the community.
Great, thank you very much. It's nice to have you all three here, and yeah, to complete the whole event today with the three perspectives. As I said, we already heard what inspired PeopleCert to create something like the ATV program, and Byron Nicolaitis, the founder, already announced that there will be, besides the ATO, the training organization accreditation, which is in place for decades, and now the tool vendor accreditation, and in the near future they will make a complete relaunch for the consultant partner program in order to make sure that all the three ecosystems out there, or the three business areas in the ITIL and service management ecosystem, are aligned and committed to this best practice. And after listening to the CIOs and to PeopleCert, it is important in this event to listen to you as certainly one of the most important stakeholders who are addressed by this ATV program, and to say, what's your mind? What do you think about this? And yeah, I would like to start. I would just raise the question and then see one by one what you would like to answer and contribute to that. I would start with the first question with Akshay, just because you're on the left hand on my screen, and then I will go through it.
My first name begins with A, my last name begins with A, so even if you want to throw this alphabetically, I go first no matter what. So.
That's a perfect name for publications.
Yes, in the list of participants, you're always on the top, aren't you? Yeah,
With the T, you're always in there at all.
But
yeah.
I was at school, I was the first one to be called up for the examination.
Okay.
Not always advantages. Okay, thank you. So my first question, starting with you, Akshay, is why is the ATV quality seal important to you as a tool vendor? And what is your experience so far? Do customers or organizations explicitly ask for this? And what specific value do you as a tool vendor expect from passing this ATV accreditation?
Sure. It's a very good question to kick off the whole discussion with. But if I may, let me flip this around and look at it from our customer's point of view, right? They are making a significant investment into how they are setting up the systems of work in their organizations. They want to have the assurance that they are putting their investment in the best possible place. And we as vendors want them to have that assurance. Now, as brilliant as my colleagues in the marketing team are, it's essentially still our perspective back to our customers. I'm not sure why the fireworks are going off. Presumably, I'm seeing something super interesting, but maybe there's some effects thing in GoToWebinar I wasn't aware of. So we in product we want to give that assurance to our customers as well. Now, yes, we can say it from a point of view of our marketing, and obviously our marketing is going to say, hey, you know, we're the best product there. But what we find as an advantage is to have some sort of an independent verification or validation that, you know, actually our tool can do the things it says it can do. It can help build towards the outcomes that our customers want to get to, whether that's resilient operations or faster development or better communication, collaboration, so on and so forth. So it's very useful to have this sort of independent assessment and verification and validation of our tools capabilities.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So again, this customer's perspective. Silke, what's your perspective on that?
First of all, as I'm not a native speaker, please, everybody, forgive me for preparing my answers. This is in no way taking away from my full commitment. I just needed to have the text in front of me. I love to prepare the answer for this question because we actually had the discussion in summer when PeopleCert came up to us and asked us to be part of the program. This is exactly the questions we had to answer internally to actually go forward with the ATV quality seal. First of all, why is it important for us as a tool vendor? In the field of enterprise service management, the ATV certification is to date the one and only recognized symbol of quality. That's a fact. This official label does, for one, confirm the compliance with relevant standards, but also provides a worldwide certification that is decisive from a tool vendor's perspective. We have 5 reasons why it was, in the end, a short discussion and no question if we are actually committing on the ATV program. First of all, it's an independent validation. It's an alignment with ITIL 4 standards through the ATV accreditation. The ATV accreditation process involves an intense and objective assessment of Servity, our enterprise service management tool, against more than 700 criteria. And it ensures its compliance with the recent ITIL 4 standards. The certification serves as reliable acknowledgement of our tool's ability to effectively deliver IT service management. But on top of that, it also certifies the competence of our team members. And I really like this part because it helps us to motivate our team members to be deeper involved into the ITIL practices, into what's behind it, the mindset, why we're all doing this. And it's our job from morning to night. So achieving the platinum status is not just about Servity, but also confirming the high quality and recognizing the high quality of our DECON team. And this is a recognition to every DECON member. Also, BMC and Atlassian probably don't have this problem, but Servity and DECON is very focused on the German market. And the ATV accreditation helps us to have a unique selling point to stand out from the crowd, to be recognized on the market.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, sorry.
Welcome, no problem. Just give me one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
It meets the requirements of the market. So when I get a request from our potential customers, they always ask for it. They ask for ITIL 4, they ask for the 19 out of 19 ITIL practices, and they ask for the ATV seal.
Okay, yeah. Great, thank you. That's a good feedback to see that the market already took notice of this new seal, and that especially in your market space,
absolutely,
they're already asking for it. So it seems to have a relevance to customers. This confirms what we've heard before from the CIO here, from Leonard Weiss, who definitely said this is the ticket to enter any evaluation project at his organization, and said without that he would not consider a tool to be part of even the longer list of candidates. Thank you so much, Silke. John, what's your perspective on the ATV seal?
I think we obviously dealing with a lot of companies who are on various parts of the journey into service management. I mean, even today, we see companies looking to adopt frameworks like ITIL, even as fairly new structures. You know, so it surprises me still how many organizations there are out there who've sort of done a service desk, they've done a bit of problem management, they're still looking to progress now into more advanced methodologies, and a lot of the time that's driven by increasing complexity of their environments. A lot of the time it's driven by reductions in the resources they have available, or at least the desire to be able to do more with the same. So we're dealing with companies at that level, right up to organizations who are very, very focused, very, very significantly invested over a long term in ITIL. And I think a common factor through all of that is something like ITIL is seen as a basis, not just to organize their tooling, but to organize their actual structure and their organization and their practice. They recognize that ITIL shapes the journey for them as an organization, technically, structurally, in terms of people. So naturally, of course, when they're looking to align technology to that journey, it's often seen as something of a prerequisite. We see this even come up in tenders, in RFPs, the very early response, early inquiries to vendors. We're looking for a set of technologies to improve our service and operations management. And often a baseline is a certified level of support of ITIL. So I think what that's telling us, it's not just about the technology. It's about ITIL as a basis for strategy, for planning, for structure, for guiding their own people through their growth in their ability to do this stuff. And of course, it's very, very important to them that the technology partners they're aligning with are on the same journey, are supporting the same journey. So I think from our perspective, obviously, I was very proud to be contributing to ITIL. I think we try to be, as an organization, we're not just here to sell software, we're not just here to sell services, we're here to be part of the community, we're here to be part of ITIL. And being accredited as a tool vendor is a very important part of that too.
Thank you very much. So a clear commitment to not only provide a very good solution and a valuable solution, but a clear commitment to be part of the community and to even in the future contribute to the development. And we already have here in our session authors and thought leaders and contributed to ITIL in the past, whether this is translation or even author or architecting ITIL. So being part of the community to me always means taking some responsibility for the future as well. And we have very often talked in training sessions about the importance of people, but people need to be trained and people need to be enabled by the right solutions. And this is what very often is to make or break even the reputation of ITIL, because you can design beautiful processes and workflows and value streams, but if the tool does not support this is the visible part. In many organizations, we've seen that the visible part of an so-called ITIL implementation is the tool for the users of ITIL. So the IT employees, they see the tool and they say, this is ITIL. And we all know about user experience and customer experience, and for some time, more and more important, employee experience, because a happy employee with a really enabling, really good solution will do a better service, will do a happier job. So this is where you're at the core of the capability of a service management organization. Thank you very much. Let's go to another question where we look more into the future and we say customers are already asking for this. It will enable you to have a unique selling point in market spaces. It will be a quality approval. How do you see the future and the cooperation between you as a tool vendor and PeopleCert as the custodian of the best practices, not only for ITIL, but even for project management, Prince 2, and John already mentioned Agile and DevOps, where PeopleCert is massively investing and contributing now. What would be valuable for you as a tool vendor, and what do you believe would address customers' needs best from this cooperation? Maybe this time we start with Silke.
Thank you so much. I would actually go to what John said and what you said, it's about aligning tool, people, and services and being part of the community. And I think if we bring those two together and find out within the community, not as different tool vendors, but as one ITIL community, I think we can bring ITIL forward and leave the old, let's call it a bit nerdy ITIL behind us and bring it into the future. I think as a community, we owe this to our customers and we owe this to the employees of our customers. I think we're already in that direction. We have regular joint activities. We have marketing activities where we discuss different subjects. We have the ITIL Tool Day where we come together and discuss what brings us together and how we can align tool, people, and services even better. And we also, and I think this is very important to point out, can do case studies and research together. Because when we as a community come together and bring in all of our experiences, then we can bring ITIL 4 and all that's around it forward.
Yeah, great. Thank you. So community over individual. Great thought. Thank you very much, Silke. I will continue with John this time. What's your thought on the future of the cooperation with PeopleCert?
I think it's going to be very important. I think for ITIL to keep growing. I mean, version 4 was a step change, in my opinion, in that it shifted from let's say version 3 actually predated DevOps. DevOps really only emerged even as a word in 2008. I think ITIL 4 was a very important step in shifting to more agile type thinking. Growing with the way that technology had grown from the ground up, and it kind of moved ITIL from being what in practice was often a very sort of top-down strategic imposition, rightly or wrongly. That was what I observed a lot in the industry, this notion that we would transform and do ITIL from next year onwards. It shifted it much more to an incremental journey, a path. It's start where you are, increment, and progress with iteratively with feedback. All those very, very important points. So by definition, we're not finished. I don't think we can ever be fully finished because the industry will continue to grow and we have to grow with it. And I think that takes people in the vendor space, it takes people in the practitioner space, it takes people moving into the industry. And of course, PeopleCert as the custodian of this, we have to keep investing, we have to keep working as a community. The framework itself needs to progress iteratively with feedback. And I think the most important thing into the future is that we continue to adapt and grow. We're now in the age of artificial intelligence, really having moved from a science project to a fundamental part of people's strategy, a fundamental part of major products. So I think that's almost the next frontier where we'll be thinking, where does this bring us in terms of our practices, in terms of our knowledge, in terms of our community? So that would be my view. It's about applying those fundamental principles that we're teaching people with ITIL version 4 and applying that to ourselves and to our frameworks and to our community to make sure that the framework itself moves forward.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so again, it's this being part and being responsible and take this responsibility to say, yeah, ITIL as being the company maker for many of us with our training consultancy or tool vendor, and yeah, to really take that responsibility and contribute to preserve that and to assure that there's even in the future, whether this is ITIL 5, 6, 7, whatever we will see in the future, or any other versioning system, but it remains valid and takes over all these influences from agile and whatever is to come. Maybe especially actually it's being very close to software development as a tool vendor. In many organizations, I think we will find that product. How do you see the future and more integrating cooperation with PeopleCert, the community, and others?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I don't disagree with anything that my colleagues here have already shared. I think this is we're on the cusp of a really interesting and exciting time for our global community. I think PeopleCert is putting in place some really interesting programs. I mean, of course, we all know about the training side of things. Now we've got the Accredited Tool Vendor, and you'd mentioned before, Bjorn, about the consultant accreditation as well. And I think if you look at it as like an end-to-end value stream, customer journey, call it what you will, right? You've got the pieces from, if I were a corporate leader, I've got pieces to make sure that I have my people trained correctly. I'm using a tool that has been recognized, and I can bring in people or services from outside my company to augment or supplement or implement stuff internally to create a better way of working. So I can see all these pieces being pulled together by PeopleCert. What that then allows, and I certainly hope that things will evolve this way, as a tool vendor, I would hope that we then have the ability to tap into some of the research that PeopleCert might be doing to see what trends PeopleCert is seeing in terms of evolving ways of working, evolving use of technology, evolving expectations from the customers of our customers. And this would be really useful feedback to us from a product perspective to be able to say, okay, there's, you know, this looks really interesting. Let's go explore this. You know, back in 2008, I wasn't involved with ITIL version 3 by any stretch, but in 2006, if people said, hey, you know, this agile stuff is looking really interesting, you know, there's, you know, Patrick Dubois went in and presented at ConfigCon, et cetera, maybe there's something here that we need to write about in the next version of ITIL to then promote this as good practice or emerging practice that our corporate customers can then look at incorporating as part of their training. And, you know, it becomes a virtuous cycle of, you know, all these pieces coming together, providing feedback, providing the research from our customers back to the product vendors. Product vendors can build something that goes back to the customers, and, you know, the cycle continues. So I certainly hope that this is the start. Today is the start of many great things to come.
Great, thank you very much. So this is the key word I heard in all of your answers is that term community. And me personally, I'm involved in the topic DevOps as well for several years. And one thing that is always kept in my mind as some key phrase is this community driven, and that topic of sharing. And community driven means that everybody contributes to the evolving practices. So there's no one owner decides what is the true DevOps and what is not, because everybody adopts and adapted, collects practices and ideas and creates their own DevOps in their own organization. And by publishing and sharing with others, whether success or failure, by sharing with others, contributes to the community and to the evolvement of DevOps as a cultural and operational idea. And the same I heard here to say, in a clear commitment that being on the one hand, being officially approved and say, okay, yes, the owner of the IP, the owner has checked our organization and our solutions, so the people and the technical product, and confirm that we are aligned with ITIL best practices. But on the other hand, the clear commitment that you want to contribute and you wished that even PeopleCert shares with you their ideas and thoughts, and enters a discussion. What is your experience about what's going on in the market? And what do you experience, and give feedback to what PeopleCert finds out from research and development. So maybe this is in the future then combined with the consultancy. This could be a very good three-party community, or even with us as training community. Thank you very, very much. I'm looking forward to a evening session from my perspective. It will be evening here for you, John. I'm afraid it will be in the middle of the night, won't it? I really appreciate that you faced that challenge of time zone. Thank you so much all for contributing so far, and we will see again in a couple of hours for the second session and discuss these questions once again. Thank you very much, and to all our participants out there, don't leave early, because after this fantastic session, before we end officially, we still have our winners from the raffle. So thanks to the evening, you three, Akshay, Silke, and John. And yes, we come to the closing, but before we go, we will have our winners. Before we enter this raffle, once again, thanks to all the contributors. We heard about from Byron Nicolaitis, owner and founder, what his thoughts and ideas for ATV program was and still is, and plans for the future. We talked to Dimitris Nicolaitis and Markus Bause about what the ATV program is, what they think, how it should be used and applied. We heard the CIO stories from Attila Küçük and Michael Hein, who told us that it's already a very, very valuable source for the user organizations, and you three confirming that and committing to the community in the future. So let's go to the prize raffle, and we do have from PeopleCert 9 prizes in each of the sessions that were to be given away. We have 2 times a first prize winner, which is an ITIL Foundation e-learning voucher, including the e-learning examination, an ebook, a total value of more than €1,000 each. And the winners are Yu Meng Kok. I hope this is close to correct pronunciation. I hope. If not, please accept my apologies. And the second winner is Tomasz Zaks. Both of you, congratulations for winning this fantastic prize. And we have your contact details from the registration to this event, and we will directly contact you following the event and to provide all the details how to claim your prizes. Second prize, we go one ahead and have 3 times the second prize, an ITIL 4 Foundation learning voucher, including the examination, the ebook, and official training material. And we have a total value for more than €600. And here we have the winners, who are Amit Agarwal from Bayer Crop Sciences, Stefan Meyer from the MSG Group, and Tinashi Chitakasha from S2 Partnership. Once again, I hope I came at least close to the right pronunciation. All of you will be contacted directly with information how to claim your prizes. So, third round, an ITIL Foundation official printed book, including shipping, and I'm pretty sure that you will have the choice of language as long as the language is available, but I know the ITIL Foundation publication is already translated in several languages, so you probably will have the choice of your preferred language, a value of more than €100, including shipping. This could be quite important depending on the location you're at. So the winners are Thomas Binder from Klinikum Nürnberg, So that's not far away from here. Ranjan Prasad from DXC. Niringa Lenchiao Kaite from god.dev. And finally, Natalie Mariskasier from JIT Consultants. Congratulations to all of you, all the 9 winners, and I hope you will enjoy your prizes. And yeah, once again, thanks to all contributors. It was a really fantastic and inspiring event, interesting insights, and yeah, most of all, many thanks to all of you from around the world for joining us here today in this session. And for any additional information and the future, visit us on the atv.peoplecert.org webpage. There you will have the latest information on progress and further development. Wherever you are, take care and all the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.